My first piano recital, a journey of notes and nerves. When I first sat down at the piano in Ms. Garcia's studio, I could barely reach the pedals. I was 8 years old, and the huge instrument seemed to stretch out before me like a giant, toothed monster. But as soon as Ms. Garcia played a simple melody, the piano transformed. It wasn't a monster anymore. It was a magical device that could create beautiful sounds, and I wanted to learn how to tame it. For months, I practiced diligently. I learned about whole notes and half notes, about sharps and flats. My fingers stumbled over the keys as I tried to play Hot Cross Buns and Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Slowly but surely, the jumble of black and white keys began to make sense. I started to hear the music in my head before my fingers even touched the piano. Every Wednesday after school, I had my lesson with Ms. Garcia. She was patient and kind, always encouraging me even when I made mistakes. Music isn't about perfection, she would say. It's about expression and feeling. When I felt frustrated, she would tell me stories about famous composers who had struggled just like me when they were young. As I improved, Ms. Garcia introduced me to more challenging pieces. I learned about composers like Mozart and Beethoven, imagining them sitting at their pianos just like me, creating the beautiful music that I was now learning to play. It felt like I was connecting with history every time I practiced. One day, about 6 months after I started lessons, Ms. Garcia mentioned something that made my heart skip a beat. The spring recital. "I think you're ready to perform," she said with a smile. I felt a mix of excitement and terror. Perform in front of an audience? The idea was thrilling and terrifying all at once. We chose a piece for me to play, Für Elise by Beethoven. It was more challenging than anything I had played before, but Ms. Garcia believed in me. "This piece has emotion," she explained. "It's not just about playing the right notes, it's about making the audience feel something." For the next 2 months, I practiced harder than ever. I played Für Elise so many times that I heard it in my dreams. My family was incredibly supportive. My little brother even stopped complaining about the repetitive music coming from my room. My parents listened to every practice session, applauding enthusiastically even when I made mistakes. As the day of the recital approached, my nervousness grew. What if I forgot the notes? What if I froze up on stage? Ms. Garcia helped me work through my fears. We practiced deep breathing exercises, and she taught me to focus on the music rather than the audience. When you play, she said, imagine you're alone in your favorite place, just you and the piano. The night before the recital, I could hardly sleep. I kept going over the piece in my head, my fingers twitching on imaginary keys. In the morning, I put on my nicest dress and my shiny new shoes. My mom braided my hair, tucking a small flower behind my ear. "You look like a real pianist," she said, giving me a hug. When we arrived at the recital hall, it was bustling with activity. Other students were there with their families, everyone dressed up and looking nervous. We were each assigned a practice room to warm up in. As I ran through Fur Elise one last time, I tried to remember everything Ms. Garcia had taught me about expression and feeling. Finally, it was time. I sat backstage listening to the other students perform. Some played flawlessly, while others made small mistakes but kept going. I realized that the audience applauded for everyone, mistakes or not. Maybe this wouldn't be so bad after all. When my name was called, I walked onto the stage. The lights were bright, and I could see a sea of faces looking at me. For a moment, I felt frozen. Then I remembered Ms. Garcia's advice. I took a deep breath, sat down at the piano, and closed my eyes. In my mind, I was back in my room, playing just for myself. My fingers touched the keys, and the first notes of Fur Elise filled the air. As I played, I forgot about the audience, about my nervousness, about everything except the music. The melody flowed from my fingers, soft and gentle in some parts, more passionate in others. Before I knew it, I was playing the final notes. There was a moment of silence, and then the audience burst into applause. I opened my eyes and saw my family beaming at me from the front row. Ms. Garcia was standing at the side of the stage, clapping and smiling proudly. As I took my bow, I felt a surge of joy and accomplishment. I had done it. I had played in front of an audience, and it had been wonderful. Walking off the stage, I knew that this was just the beginning. I couldn't wait to learn more pieces, to express more emotions through music, to share the beauty of the piano with others. That night, as I drifted off to sleep, I heard Fur Elise playing in my head once again. But this time, it wasn't accompanied by nerves or worry. Instead, I felt a sense of pride and excitement for all the music yet to come. My journey with the piano was just beginning, and I couldn't wait to see where it would take me next.